It's funny how quiet space is. You read about it, watch it in movies, hear it described, but nothing really prepares you for the absence of sound. Not the stillness of a quiet room, or even the silence that comes with a sleeping earth. No, space is something else, deafeningly silent. You start to hear your thoughts more clearly, the whispers in the back of your mind that you can usually drown out. My name is Sarah Kane, lead astrophysicist on the Argus, a ship designed for one purpose: to study black hole XG5. And right now, we're 2 days away from reaching it. I can see it in the distance from the viewport. Not the way you imagine seeing something. There's no distinct shape, no outline, just a patch of black, a darkness that swallows the stars around it. A void in space, a place where time and matter are meaningless. Even from here, so far away, I feel its pull, like it's drawing something out of me. I close the screen in front of me, my father's voice echoing in my head. You don't understand it yet, Sarah, but one day you'll see. It's not just a hole in space. It's something more. I never knew what he meant by that. He'd spent his whole life theorizing about black holes, their gravitational forces, and their impact on space-time. He was obsessed, and I guess I inherited that obsession, in a way. It's why I'm here now. Behind me, I hear Marcus Lowell, our captain, entering the room. He's as silent as the space outside. Anything new? He asks, his voice low, strained, like he's been thinking too much about something but doesn't want to talk about it. Nothing unusual, I reply. We're still on course. Should reach XG5 in about 48 hours. Marcus nods, but I can see the worry etched into his face. He's the kind of man who wears his burdens quietly. It's been his way since we started this mission, stoic, calm. But I've noticed the small signs, the way his hand lingers a little too long on the control panel, how he's been checking the navigation logs more often than necessary. You okay? I ask, turning my seat toward him. He shrugs, his eyes avoiding mine. It's nothing. We both know it's not nothing, but neither of us pushes further. We've been trained for this, all of us. We knew the risks going in, the radiation levels, the gravitational forces, the potential damage to the ship. Still, something about XG5 feels different, more ominous. I shake the thought away. Marcus leaves, and I'm alone again. The ship hums quietly around me, a reminder of its life support systems keeping us tethered to some form of safety. But even the hum feels distant, like it's being swallowed by the silence of space. I take another glance out the viewport, at the patch of nothingness ahead, and my stomach twists slightly. I try to focus on the mission, the science, the data, but there's an unease settling in, like a cold hand wrapping around my chest. I wonder if Marcus feels it too. If Elena, our medical officer, has noticed something. She's been quieter than usual. It's probably nothing. It's always nothing. Until it isn't. I find Elena in the med bay the next morning, running her routine checks. She's always been meticulous, her fingers gliding over her equipment like a pianist on keys. Every blood pressure reading, every heartbeat, logged and cross-checked. It gives her something to do, something to control. I can't blame her for that. I wish I had something to hold on to. How's everyone doing? I ask as I step inside. She doesn't look up right away, just taps her screen. Vitals are fine. No issues physically. Marcus is sleeping less, though. I nod. That much was obvious. And you? You've been quiet. This time she looks at me. Her eyes are tired. We've only been out here a week, but the isolation hits everyone differently. I don't know, Sarah, she admits. Something feels wrong. I know that sounds crazy. I've run all the tests and there's nothing, but I can't shake it. It's the black hole, I say, trying to sound rational. It plays tricks on your mind. We're getting close, and the gravitational effects, they mess with your perception of time. It's normal. Elena shakes her head. No, it's not that. I know the science, but it's something else. Like we're not supposed to be here. Her words settle heavily between us, and for a moment, I feel it too. That strange sensation, like we're intruding on something we shouldn't be. Like XG5 isn't just a phenomenon, it's something more. I shake the thought away again. No, I tell myself, that's not possible. We're here for data, for answers. We're not here to feel. I'll talk to Marcus, I say, if only to give her something to hold on to. She nods, but the unease doesn't leave her face. By the third day, XG5 is all we can think about. It looms ahead of us, no longer just a patch of darkness, but something more tangible. The stars around it are bending, warping, light bending into the abyss. There's something horrifying about it, even though we knew what to expect. The gravitational distortion, the way time and space bend near its edge. It doesn't make it any easier to look at. I stare at it through the viewport, trying to ignore the twisting in my gut. Do you see it? Elena whispers behind me. I didn't hear her come in. I nod. It's pulling light in from every direction. It's beautiful, she says, her voice soft. But there's no awe in her tone, only fear. The closer we get, the more disorienting everything becomes. It's not just the black hole that's distorting the space around us. It feels like it's bending me, pulling something out of my mind that I can't quite grasp. Marcus is the first to voice what we've all been feeling, though he does it in his usual quiet, almost detached way. We're experiencing time dilation. He says this while staring at the navigation screen, as if the information hasn't quite sunk in yet. How bad? I ask, though I already know the answer. The data is right in front of me too, but it's different hearing it from someone else. It makes it real. We're losing time, Marcus murmurs, his voice low, almost as if he's speaking to himself. Hours pass outside in minutes. We're closer than we should be, closer than expected. He doesn't look at me as he says this, which worries me more than his words. Marcus always looks people in the eye. It's how he keeps control, how he asserts his authority. But now, he stares straight ahead, as if the ship and the black hole are all he can see, all that matters. I can feel it too. Time is becoming slippery. My wristwatch is ticking forward like normal, but something feels off. It's hard to explain. Hours stretch on, but moments seem to disappear. I've been staring at the same line of data for what feels like minutes, but when I look at the clock again, it's been an hour. Everything feels stretched and compressed at the same time. The black hole's pull is more than physical. It's starting to mess with our minds. Elena drifts into the command center, her face pale and eyes wide. I catch her glancing toward the viewport where the black hole looms, but she quickly looks away. She doesn't speak for a while, her silence louder than any alarm that might have been blaring. It's starting, isn't it? She asks quietly, as if the words themselves are dangerous. Marcus doesn't respond. His silence speaks louder than any confirmation. I clear my throat, trying to shake the oppressive weight hanging over us. We're still within operational range. We can pull back any time. But we all know it's a lie. The pull of the black hole is relentless. The ship's engines strain just to keep us in orbit, holding us at a safe distance. Going further, it's a one-way trip. I catch Elena's eye, but she looks away, pretending to be busy with her medical kit. It's in that moment I realize we're not okay. The 5th day is when things start to break. Small things. Marcus starts forgetting routine tasks. Simple things that a mission commander should never miss. Yesterday, he checked the ship's course 4 times, convinced the data was wrong. Today, he stares at the nav charts, his hands trembling slightly, as if he doesn't trust the numbers anymore. "Elena," I call out as I pass her in the corridor. She flinches as if startled by my voice. "How's Marcus?" Her eyes dart around looking for an answer that isn't there. "He's not himself." She hesitates. "None of us are. Sleep has been elusive, replaced by something far worse, waking nightmares. Every time I close my eyes, I feel the pull of XG5. It's always there, in the back of my mind, a looming presence that won't let go. Every time I drift off, I feel like I'm falling into it, into that void where nothing exists. I wake up gasping, heart racing, and the silence of the ship feels too heavy. "Elena," I start, but she cuts me off. "I know," she whispers, barely audible. "I feel it too, the weight, like it's crushing us." She doesn't need to say what we're both thinking. The black hole is doing something to us. The gravity, the way it bends light and time, it's affecting us, inside and out. We're not supposed to be this close. No human should be. Marcus has retreated to the command center, spending hours just staring at the black hole through the viewport. He used to bark orders, keep us all in line. Now he just watches. He's not lost his grip entirely, but there's a hollow look in his eyes. I decide to confront him. When I enter the command center, the air feels thicker, like the gravity is stronger in this room. I find Marcus where I expected, his back to me, standing in front of the massive viewport. The black hole dominates the view, an abyss that swallows everything around it. Light bends, spirals, and vanishes. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Marcus murmurs. "It's like the universe is collapsing in on itself." "Marcus, we need to pull back," I say firmly, but my voice wavers. The closer we get, the harder it is to think straight. The black hole pulls at my thoughts as much as it pulls at the ship. He turns slowly, his eyes distant, like he's looking past me. "Pull back? Sarah, we're already past the point of no return. You know that." "No," I say, but even as the word leaves my mouth, I don't believe it. He's right. We crossed that threshold days ago. We just didn't realize it, or maybe we didn't want to. "We're not leaving," he says, almost casually, as if it's not even up for debate. "This is it, Sarah. This is where we belong now, in the black." I step closer, my heart pounding in my chest. We can't just give up. Marcus smiles, a small, sad thing. It's not about giving up. It's about accepting what's inevitable. He turns back to the viewport, his reflection merging with the darkness beyond. I stand there for a moment, frozen, before walking out. I've lost track of how long we've been out here. Time is slipping through my fingers like sand. Days feel like hours. Hours like days. It's impossible to tell what's real and what's just a trick of the black hole's gravity. I've been running tests, anything to keep my mind busy. The data is all wrong. The numbers don't make sense anymore. The ship's systems are glitching, flickering in and out. We're too close. We've drifted further than we planned. The gravitational pull is too strong now. We can't escape, not with the engines running at full power just to keep us from falling in. Elena has been talking less and less. She avoids Marcus, avoids me. She's holed up in the med bay, running scans and tests that don't matter. She's not looking for answers anymore. She's just trying to stay sane. I catch her staring at her hands sometimes, like she's not sure if they're real. I know the feeling. Everything is starting to feel less solid, less real. The ship creaks and groans under the strain, and I wonder if it's going to tear apart before we reach the event horizon. I start keeping notes in my personal log, though I'm not sure why. Maybe it's habit. Maybe I just need to feel like I'm still in control of something. My hands are shaking as I type. Day 6. We've drifted too close. I can feel the pull, even when I'm not looking at it. Time is... I stop typing. I don't know how to finish that thought. Time is... what? Broken? Irrelevant? It doesn't matter anymore. I've stopped sleeping. Every time I close my eyes, I dream of the black hole. I dream of falling into it, of being stretched and torn apart, but never dying. Just falling forever, lost in the dark. Elena comes to me at some point. I don't know when. She looks worse than I feel. Her eyes are wide, bloodshot. Her hands are trembling. "Sarah," she whispers. "It's getting closer." I know what she means, but I don't want to hear it. We're being pulled in, slowly but surely, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. "We need to pull back," she says, her voice shaky. "We need to try." "We can't," I say. The words taste bitter in my mouth. "You know we can't." She stares at me for a long time, her eyes searching mine for something. Hope, maybe. But I have nothing to give her. She leaves without another word. I go to the viewport, like Marcus always does. The black hole fills the view now. A massive, gaping maw in the fabric of space. Light swirls around it, bending and twisting as it's swallowed by the void. I stand there for what feels like hours, watching. The closer we get, the more I feel it pulling at me, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. It's like the black hole is inside me now, eating away at my thoughts, my sense of self. I can't tell where I end and it begins. I don't remember falling asleep, but when I wake up, everything feels wrong. The ship is quieter than it should be. The low hum of the engines barely noticeable now, struggling against the immense gravity of the black hole. I sit up and my head swims. Time feels slippery again, more than ever. I check my wristwatch, but it's frozen. The display is blank. I tap it once, twice, but nothing happens. The ship creaks under the strain. I can feel the pull of the black hole like a weight pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. We've drifted too close. Far too close. I force myself to stand, legs trembling, and make my way to the command center. Marcus is there, of course, standing in front of the viewport. The black hole is massive now, filling nearly the entire view. It's like staring into the eye of something ancient, something that shouldn't exist. "Elena?" I ask, though I'm not sure why. I don't expect an answer. "She's in the med bay," Marcus says, not turning to look at me. His voice is hollow, empty. "She hasn't come out in hours." I nod, though I'm not sure he sees me. I don't know what I expected. None of us can face what's happening, not really. "I've been thinking," Marcus continues, his tone almost casual, "about what comes next, about what happens when we cross the event horizon." I step closer, my heart racing. "Marcus, We need to try pulling back. If we can divert. He cuts me off with a laugh, a dry, bitter sound that sends a chill down my spine. Pull back? Sarah, look outside. It's over. We're already past the point of no return. I open my mouth to argue, to fight him, but the words die in my throat. He's right. We're too close now. Even with the engines running at full capacity, we're only delaying the inevitable. The black hole has us in its grip, and it won't let go. I walk up to the viewport, standing beside Marcus. The black hole is mesmerizing, terrifying. I can't tear my eyes away. Do you think we'll feel it? Marcus asks quietly. Feel what? When we cross over, when we fall in, do you think it will hurt? I want to tell him no. I want to lie to give him some comfort. But I can't. I don't know what happens when you cross the event horizon. No one does. Not really. Maybe it'll be instant. An annihilation so complete that we won't even have time to feel it. Or maybe we'll stretch and twist, pulled apart atom by atom, forever. I don't know, I finally say. Marcus nods, as if that's the answer he expected. I find Elena in the med bay, sitting on the floor with her knees drawn up to her chest. She looks small, fragile, like a child. Her eyes are wide, bloodshot, staring at nothing. Elena, I say softly, kneeling beside her. She doesn't respond. I reach out, placing a hand on her shoulder, but she flinches away. It's coming, she whispers, her voice trembling. I can feel it. The black hole. It's inside me. I want to tell her she's wrong, that it's just in her mind. But the truth is, I feel it too. The black hole isn't just pulling us in, it's pulling us apart from the inside out. It's like it's devouring us piece by piece, starting with our thoughts, our sense of time, our sense of self. We don't have much time left, I say, my voice barely audible. Elena squeezes her eyes shut, her whole body trembling. I don't want to die like this. I don't know what to say. There's nothing I can say. I leave her there, curled up on the floor, and make my way back to the command center. Marcus is still there, staring out into the void. He hasn't moved. We're at the event horizon, he says when he hears me approach. His voice is flat, emotionless. It's over. I stand beside him, my heart pounding in my chest. The black hole is so close now, so vast. The event horizon is the point of no return, the threshold where even light can't escape, and we're about to cross it. There's no going back, Marcus says, and this time there's a strange calm in his voice, as if he's finally accepted it. We're part of it now. I don't respond. There's nothing left to say. Time fractures completely as we reach the event horizon. The ship groans, the walls creaking as if they're being pulled apart. The lights flicker, and I hear the alarms blaring in the background, but they sound distant, like they're coming from another reality entirely. I grip the console in front of me, my knuckles white. The black hole fills the viewport now. Nothing but darkness, an endless void swallowing everything in its path. I glance at Marcus. He's still standing there, staring into the abyss. His face is calm, serene, like he's already accepted his fate. Elena is gone. I don't know when or how, but I feel her absence like a weight in my chest. She's lost to the black hole now, whether physically or mentally. I can't even imagine her final thoughts. The ship is falling apart around us, pulled by forces we can't comprehend. The screens are glitching, the navigation system's dead. We're helpless, caught in the black hole's embrace. I close my eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. There's no escaping this. There never was. We were doomed from the moment we came too close. I think back to my father, to his theories, his obsession with black holes. He spent his whole life trying to understand them, but in the end, he never did. Neither did I. The ship lurches violently, and I feel my body being pulled toward the viewport. I open my eyes, and for a moment, everything is still. The alarms stop. The ship's hum falls silent, and then the light bends. I watch as the stars around the black hole twist and warp, spiraling into the void. Time slows down, stretches, bends with the light. My thoughts become fragmented, disjointed, like pieces of me are being torn away. I feel like I'm falling, but there's no end to it. No up, no down, just falling. I try to speak, but the words don't come. I try to move, but my body doesn't respond. All I can do is watch as the black hole consumes everything. Me, the ship, Marcus. We're nothing now. Just particles, dust, lost in the void. And then, nothing. No light, no sound, just blackness. In the end, the black hole took everything. The ship, the crew, our memories, our existence. Everything we were, everything we thought we knew, it all disappeared, swallowed by the void. There is no escape. There never was. The black hole doesn't care. It doesn't feel. It just is. A force of nature, unstoppable, indifferent. I used to wonder what it would feel like to be consumed by a black hole. It feels like nothing.